Today's guest is Clayton Smalley. Based out of Spanish Fork, Utah, Clayton's Dirt Road Therapy hit number 6 in the iTunes Country Albums charts. A man who lives the music he makes. Welcome, Clayton.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
No problem.
Let's start back at the beginning. Where were you born and raised, and how did music first come into your life?
I was born and raised, I was born in Fontana, California. I was raised in a little town called San Jacinto. And music's always kind of been in my life. I remember just kind of hanging out with my dad and grandpa when they were working on they're both truck drivers. So when they were working on their trucks, there'd always be George Strait and Reba McEntire blaring.
Nice.
But yeah, it's always kind of been in my life.
Yeah, how long were you in California for?
I lived in California until 2002, I believe.
Gotcha. What was it like for country music in California? Was there a big audience for it, or how was that?
It was kind of just coming in as I was going out. Actually, it was 2004 when I left. My son wasn't even 1 year old yet.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I kind of saw how it had blown up after I left. I mean, there was definitely a couple places there, like dance halls, like the Branding Iron, and another place up in the high desert that had country music. But it wasn't quite what it is now, where you got the big festivals and everything there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Did anyone in your family play instruments or write their own music?
My great grandpa did. I don't know about writing music, but he played in a group. That's actually I got his Gibson right here. It's a 1935 Gibson L00.
Wow, it's amazing.
But yeah, I got a picture of him holding that up. But yeah, he played. That was really it. My older brother, was my drummer for a little while in my first band out there. That was about it. Yeah.
When did you first pick up a guitar?
I'd say 16, probably. Yeah, I had a guy that actually my mom was dating for a while, taught me how to play. He played for, I can't remember off the top of my head, he played for an old rock group in California, Les, but yeah, he taught me how to play guitar, and kind of all started there, really.
What was your first guitar you got, and how'd you get it?
It was a Mitchell. I still have it, actually, a black Mitchell. My lead guitar player in my first band, he had it laying around. He was going over to electric guitars and had that laying around. He's like, "Here you go, take this." My first guitar I played was actually an old, I don't even know what the brand was. It was an old nylon string guitar that my stepdad had.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you started playing when you're 16. When did you first start writing or join a band, or what was the next step for you?
I started writing after I'd started my first band. We had a band, Lonesome Highway, in California. Just some guys kind of met, and my lead guitar player was just getting into electric, so he was kind of learning as we were going, and helped me with some rhythm stuff. But we kind of started writing a little bit then, and I've rewritten like a couple of ideas I had way back then now, because you would not want to hear the stuff I wrote back then. It was bad.
That's awesome. What kind of band was it? What kind of music?
It was country. Yeah.
Awesome.
I've always been a country. I mean, I love all kinds of different country, and I definitely love playing some rock stuff. And I grew up listening to Guns N' Roses and Metallica and all that. So I mean, I definitely have that. But for me, it's always been older school country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you write music, do you prefer to write by yourself, or is it more of a collaborative effort, or how does that go for you?
It's been since I had that band for a little bit, and then I had my kids. We played for a little bit. I had my kids, and then it all kind of petered out. I put it on the back burner. Started working 2 jobs for quite a while there, being a young family. I mean, my wife and I had our kids really young, so music took a back burner. Coming back into it now, which has only been like 2.5 years ago, writing, it's all been collaborative, because like the guys that I write with now and that put out my stuff now just kind of hit me up after seeing me on the like YouTube and stuff, and reached out to me and asked if I wanted to co-write, and I was like, yeah, let's give it a shot.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go back to after your first band. You said you had a kid and then you kind of put music on the back burner. What was that like for you? Was that hard?
At the time, not really. Like that kind of kicked in a little bit later. Like at the time, it was I just had my first kid, and then my son followed a couple years after, and it was just like, this is what I got to do. I got to, it was we lived in California and trying to get a place to live and raise two kids. It was just kind of, I got to go work two jobs to make this thing work, and just didn't have time for it. So it just kind of went away. And
Yeah.
then, over the years, you kind of listening to the radio, or you hear a great song or something, you're like, man, I'd love to put something like that out or be out there playing again. You'd see a band or something somewhere, and it's like, I want to get back into that.
Yeah. So was it just like all those moments stacked up that made you want to get back into it? Or is there like a single moment you can remember where it's like, it's time?
It wasn't really a single moment. It was just like my kids, like my daughter's in college now, and my son's a sophomore in high school, and they get to that age and they don't need dad and mom as much anymore.
Yeah.
Coaching baseball kind of came to an end, and it was, I had the time and just wanted to kind of get back into it and get back out and play and in front of people. Cause when you're playing, like, I mean, you said you've been in a band, it's a rush. And I just wanted at the beginning, I just wanted to get a group together and get back to playing and singing. And it's kind of just snowballed from there, really.
Yeah. So is that one of the first steps you took when you came back to it, was get a band together, or what was it?
No, the first step was buy a guitar. And then, because even though I still had that Mitchell, I don't really like it very much the way it sounds. So I wanted to get a decent guitar. So I bought a guitar, and then it was kind of just getting back to playing and memorizing songs. I knew if I was going to get a band, I needed to get some covers down and stuff. And that's kind of that was kind of the genesis of my YouTube channel. I just, I knew if I was going to post something up on there, I was going to memorize it and get it down and, put up a good video. And that was the beginning. And then I just put out a KSL ad. I'm like, hey man, country music singer wants to get a band going, and found my drummer and my bass player. They've been best buddies since they were little kids, and they still, when we do live stuff around here, they're my guys.
That's awesome. What was it like starting to write your own music when you came back? Was it hard for you to like get the cogs turning again, or did it just flow, or how was it?
It was hard doing the collaborative thing, man, because I hadn't done it in a long time. And like John Griffin's my main co-writing partner now. When he reached out to me, I was kind of, at that point, I'm like, I'm all in. I'm either going to do this or I'm not going to do it. So let's do it. But yeah, when we started, it was a little, vulnerable feeling. You didn't really know him that well, and you're trying to, open up to somebody you're not super familiar with yet, and don't want to say something stupid or, which you kind of have to do when you're writing, especially with other people, because sometimes those are the best ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting talking to some artists who do it, and they talk about like the best co-writers to work with, the ones you can trust the most, to be most vulnerable with,
Yeah. You gotta be able to just blurt out what's on your mind, no matter how dumb it sounds at the moment. Because even if it's not that, it could be something in that they're like, ooh, maybe that's not the right line, but that's the right idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So what was your first release?
First release was Ride or Die. I don't remember exactly how the writing. I don't think that was the first. No, that wasn't the first thing we wrote. The first song we wrote was an idea I had from a long time ago. I had a song called Burning Bridges and did not like it at all, but I loved the idea. Like one of my favorite songs by Garth Brooks is called Burning Bridges. And I just love that visualization of, bridge, like his line, had a dream staring out across a river, across to tomorrow, and the bridge I needed to get there was a bridge that I burned,
Okay.
So I loved that idea, but we just kind of took it a different way. and my song is called Building Bridges.
Oh, gotcha.
And yeah, she keeps building bridges that I keep burning down.
Yeah. And
But
then
the first release was Ride or Die, and I think we wrote that not too long after that. John came to me with that idea. He wanted to just write a upbeat, fun song, and came to me with the main line, and we went from there and
that's awesome.
released it the summer of 2018.
Were they just released as singles, or were they part of a compilation?
That one was released as a single first. It ended up being on my Whiskey Sunrise EP. It was the first track on the Whiskey Sunrise EP, but yeah, we released it as a single.
That's awesome. So what happened with the Whiskey Sunrise EP? Tell us about like kind of the story of how that came together, and then what came of it.
Yeah, we were writing once or twice a week, and it kind of built up these 5 songs. One of them was one that John had written like 20 years ago. Nobody had recorded it. One of my favorite songs, More Right Here Than Wrong, kind of a song about marriage and the ups and downs and everything. And but we wrote Ride or Die, 24/7, Whiskey Sunrise, and Building Bridges. And Whiskey Sunrise was another idea I'd had for a little while. The idea just came from, I love Tequila Sunrise and I love the Eagles. And I was like, yeah, I don't remember what made me think about it, but I was like, I'm gonna write a song, Whiskey Sunrise, instead of Tequila Sunrise or something. It was simple as that. And I just kind of had this little melody I'd been playing around with on the guitar for a while. But when I first started working with John and my producer Dave Flint, they've always pretty much put out singles. And that originally that was what our idea was going to be, but John, like as we started recording them and putting them together, he's like, man, these all sound really good together, and I think we should put an EP out, which we ended up doing. And it's crazy, man. It was, I think it hit number 11 on the Apple iTunes charts.
Wow.
As a new release. And yeah, it was crazy. Like if you'd asked me 2.5, 3 years ago if I'd have music out, first of all, I'd have been like, maybe. But if you had told me it was going to be on the iTunes charts, I told you you're crazy.
Yeah. What do you think went into having it hit number 11? Like what part of the business aspect got it to that point?
I mean, John's definitely got some connections in Nashville, but the main thing is the pre-orders you get. So it was a lot of grunt work on social media, and being out and playing and promoting it. And, that's the main thing, is how many pre-orders and upfront stuff it gets is what shoots it up. Cause it's only up there for a minute and then all the big dogs bury it. So yeah, the number one thing is getting the pre-orders. I mean, John kind of submits it for feature, which it got featured, but yeah, getting it on the new release chart is all the fans and people that enjoy the music and go out there and still buy it, which is getting rarer and rarer.
Yeah, and that's awesome. You had such a big supportive fan base to help you get to that point. I mean, like you said, it wouldn't happen without them. So that's cool, and it shows.
Yeah,
that
it's awesome, man. It's so crazy to do this stuff and write things that I'm pretty critical in a lot of the stuff I do. You pick it apart, but once you get it out, like just playing it for the first time, somebody's like, man, it comes up afterwards, man, I love that song. And that's the kind of stuff you can't replace. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So were you playing live during that whole time of recording and releasing all that?
I was, yeah. The summer of 2019, Whiskey Sunrise, the EP, came out in November of 2019. And yeah, 2019, we played like 1 or 2 shows every weekend. We were out there. Yeah, it was a blast. It was a great year. We were gearing up for 2020 to be even busier, but we all know where that went.
Yeah. How is it playing live around Utah? Like, what's your experience been, the live scene around here?
It's been cool. It's been a mix. One thing I noticed, like it's a little harder to get people up and dance, but it's been fun, like for the festivals and stuff like that. But uh, we've kind of broken in recently to some of the like taverns and those kind of music venues, which you get in there and get a packed house. It's always a blast. Everybody's into it and having fun.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the festivals they're cool. They especially the ones around the holidays when there's a bunch of people out and having a good time. It's been still kind of new to me. I mean, I'm like right now booking for this year, which is still kind of up in the air for some places, but it's been fun.
So would you say that like festivals, especially during the summer, and taverns are the main places where a country artist would play around here?
I mean, that's been for me, yeah. Especially in the wintertime, it's, taverns and bars and those kind of places because you don't have a whole lot of outdoor stuff going on. But in the summer, like the summer of 2019, it was all outdoor stuff for us. We were pretty busy with that, so we weren't doing any except for a couple little places that I've just kind of made a connection with, and they'd always want me to come back up and play, so we'd go do those. But when we had time, but
That's awesome.
yeah, it's kind of the summertime is the outdoor stuff is what I've noticed so far, and then wintertime is playing the indoors.
Yeah. Sounds
Yeah,
about right. Is there a favorite show you've ever played that you have?
out here,
Or just anywhere in general?
yeah, there was a couple little places in California that were real fun. They were like dance halls. That was fun to play. Out here, my two favorite shows so far was I opened up for Ned Ledoux at Draper Amphitheater. That was a pretty packed place, and that was fun. It was just my guitar player and I, but it was still it's a rush when you're in front of a crowd like that. And then we opened for Charlie Worsham at the Uinta Basin in Celebration. Also, that
Sounds
was a
awesome.
pretty packed crowd. That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds really cool. So
Yeah.
tell us, so after your first EP release, tell us how you got from there to the release of your sophomore release, the Dirt Road Therapy, which went on to hit number 6 on the iTunes country charts, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Um, so we released Whiskey Sunrise and pretty much got right back into writing. John and we rewrote a song that he'd had for a while, Phoenix Rise, and then about the same time he got us connected with Steve Dean, who's a writer out in Nashville. He's got 6 number ones.
Wow.
He wrote Roundabout Way for George Strait
Oh, nice.
and song for Reba. He also wrote one for Rodney Atkins, which was pretty big. Can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but
Yeah.
we wrote the rest of the songs with him, and that was cool. That was the first time I'd ever done like a 3-way, right? And it was a little nerve wracking at the beginning. You get a guy that has got 6 number ones. And you're like, well, this is probably going to be a one and done deal. I'm just getting started, and we'll probably write one time and be like, well, I'm leaving those guys alone. But it's actually turned into an awesome deal. We still do it every Monday, and he's turned into a good friend, man. He's an awesome dude and a great songwriter. And yeah, we started writing. I think Dirt Road Therapy was one of the first ones we wrote with him. That was an idea I'd had forever. Just a lot of little, you get like little one-liners that you just kind of hold on to. And like I wrote that when we left California in 2004, we went out to North Carolina, and I had a little piece of land out there that I'd hunt and help the landowner with. And it was on like a mile or 2 stretch of dirt road. And I was doing inspection out there for like a lot of military work. So you get, a pretty busy week. And by the time Friday rolled around, you were ready to kind of unwind. And no matter what I was thinking or, what kind of stresses I had going on whenever I got out there in the country and hit that dirt road. You know, that was my dirt road therapy. I had that idea, and we got together with him and wrote that, and then the other ones kind of followed right after, one after another. Again, it's just, I don't know, it happens in like little bunches like that. Is how it's been for me so far. And it was the same thing with that one. We heard them all together and we're like, man, we got it. Because we were originally thinking we're going to go singles.
Oh man.
And you just kind of get them all together. And it's like, man, this needs to be just a group EP deal. So that's what we did.
And then hit number 6. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's kind of, I guess that's kind of the, you know, the growth from the fan base and them going out and, you know, buying more than they did on, you know, more people buying on that than they did on Whiskey Sunrise. So yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're still writing more songs. I mean, you're writing every Monday. Do you have any more releases coming up that you're excited for or anything?
Yeah, we got I'll have right now we just got some, like, I just released an acoustic version of Modern Day Merle, one of the songs on Dirt Road Therapy. We're releasing an acoustic version of Dirt Road Therapy. But then I've also been writing with John and another songwriter out in Nashville, Timothy Baker, who's an up and coming dude. Like,
nice.
Yeah, he's awesome. If you guys should go check him out. And a great songwriter. And we've written a couple songs with him, and the one we're releasing is called "These Boots Are Made to Dance." We're doing it as like a male duet, and that'll be fun. It's a fun upbeat song. That will be coming out as a single here, hopefully pretty soon.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Thanks.
So I honestly I have a question. Like, so, you know, you're a hardworking family man. You know, you said you still have those jobs and stuff during the day. How has it been trying to balance being this hardworking family man along with being an artist? Is that hard for you?
It can get tough when you're getting busy. And it's tough, you know, on the family when you're working all day long and then you come home and you got 3 writing sessions a week or, you know, something like that. But so yeah, a little bit, but you know, it's something I've put off for a long time, and you know, my family's supportive of it, and they love coming out and watching the shows and seeing what we got coming out and stuff. So it's just a little bit of, it's a balancing act, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's worth it though. It sounds like, you know,
it is
something that's
fun.
awesome. Yeah. So what advice would you have to people who are just starting out, like new artists who don't quite know the direction to take yet?
Just dig in, man. Like I hadn't played in a long time, and like YouTube was my go-to, man. I wanted to learn a song, I went to YouTube. You know, there's a lot of amazing stuff out there. There's a lot of people that are real gracious with their time, and a lot of great guys that's all they do. They put up stuff to learn, and tons more, like how to, you know, go about doing stuff. Other than that, it's just kind of get out there and do it. Like, learn some songs, go do open mics, go, you know, just get out there and get the ball rolling. You get out there and start playing, and you know, inevitably somebody will come up and be like, hey, you know, you ever want to play together or write together, and you just kind of, I don't know, you just kind of just be out there. I mean, if you want to do it, just do it, really, is my main advice.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I know some artists kind of like want to wait until they have a special show to play or, you know, some big thing.
Yeah, man. Like,
honestly,
no, I think the especially if you're new, the open mics are invaluable. Get out there and like just get used to being in front of people, because if you wait till you got a big show, you're gonna be freaking out, man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate talking to you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, have a good day, and we'll stay in touch. We'll have to reconnect after some time and like see how things are going.
Sounds good.
Great. Hey, have a good one.
Thanks, you too.